What you're about to watch is a game played over 2 different sessions and stitched together into one. A game of All for One Régime Diabolique by Triple Ace Games. A Musketeers-themed, supernatural, swashbuckling horror game. This has been going on for quite a while. And this will be the 3rd cycle of our 3 game masters working together in concert to be able to play this game. This game uses the Ubiquity role-playing system. If you haven't heard of it, please do look it up. You can find Hollow Earth Expedition by Exile Games. You can find this game, All for One Régime Diabolique, and Leagues of Adventure, Leagues of Gothic Horror, and Leagues of Cthulhu by Triple Ace Games. You can find Desolation by Grimalkin Designs. You can find Quantum Black by Quantum Black. You can find Space 1889 by Clockwork Publishing. There's a lot out there for Ubiquity now, and maybe more to come. Now this 3rd cycle, the characters are rich. They have developed over many episodes of play, group sessions, and solo sessions, for it is our tradition to provide a solo session for the game master who just ran one. So, the next game master in the cycle will be Francois Letarte, who runs the JDR D30 channel on YouTube, and the one after him will be Ivan of Ivan Mike 1968. So, each one of these sessions is our contribution to the pattern, our contribution to the campaign as a whole, and then we each play through 2 group sessions and 1 solo session for 1 cycle. So, in the last episode, we were in December, and this episode will be taking place just before Christmas. Although our musketeers are far too busy to celebrate Christmas. They are in service. Paris is cold, taxes are high, the threat of war hangs over the populace, and a marauding Spanish army is still just 80 miles outside the city to the north. Into this somewhat rainy life, the musketeers have had new duties fall. One of their closest friends has left the service. Some of their mentors have begun to retire, leaving only the younger among them, such as D'Artagnan, still in service. They have become the experienced core of the musketeers, and are they themselves, partly as punishment, partly as duty, training new recruits to the musketeers. And our session begins with that. So join me, if you will, in journeying back to 17th century France, to a France where all of the things that we're afraid of in the night are real. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now live with another installment of our All for One Régime Diabolique campaign, Lights and Darkness. I see that my companions are fortunate enough to have root beer and are drinking it in front of me, those brutes. Tonight's installment is the beginning of a new cycle as we go through our shared campaign world in our Paris of the late 1630s. And I have the honor of starting the cycle off again. And tonight's episode, tonight's session is called Nights to Remember. So, we begin in the barracks. We have Brisecoeur and we have Phillipe Moreau together. And they have a singular problem, a good problem. For they have received 2 competing invitations. Now, it'll be possible to do both, but they're invitations for the same night. Invitation number 1 on exquisite paper, beautifully penned, and signed by the very famous master of the School of Dance Fencing Academy, a man almost amusingly known as Richard of the Mask, but no one would ever laugh to his face. He has invited both of you to his salon for a drink.
Oh.
However, the young gentleman that you have been training how to be proper palace guards have realized finally that they owe you something for their training and the wisdom that you were sharing with them. And so they too have invited you, Brisecoeur, and you, Phillipe, but not Martin, because he's just too serious, to come out for a drink at their chosen watering hole. They've been with you many times to Le Coq Sans Tête, but they have invited you to come and enjoy the ambiance and free drinks all night long at the Risen Lamb. The Risen Lamb is not too far from Le Coq Sans Tête and is famous for its sign of a lamb standing on its hind legs, bearing a sword engorged with passion.
Oh. C'est l'agneau debout.
And that's where we will begin tonight's play.
Okay, so we're at this exquisite place.
Or you're at the barracks and you have a decision.
Okay, the barracks, yeah. Ah, Monsieur Richard du Masque, or l'agneau debout. What should we do, Phillipe? We have some good leisure time to take tonight.
Well, we could go to your salon and have a drink with a dandy, a fop. No offense, of course.
Well, yeah, but he's good with his sword, but yeah.
Good with his feet, maybe. But we could go to the Risen Lamb, which I've gone by. I've always looked at the sign, and well, we could go. It's free drinks all night long, but with those three.
Yeah, well, it's all night long, so we can go to the take one drink, the diplomatic drink at the School of Dance. Drink and talk about fencing and finish that night, at the Raisin Lamb, l'agneau debout. Wait. Donc, I'll present to you to Richard du Masque. I'm not at his school officially, but I talk to the man often, so maybe he has something to offer to me. Maybe he wants me to get into his school. He heard about my dancing defense.
Maybe he has. Do you think those three would be put out if we were late?
Maybe they will drink enough to not remember that we were supposed to come by, so it will be a surprise to them.
How are they? How are they coming along? They don't look very promising as musketeers.
Voyons, Phillipe. Enjoy life.
Well, yeah, I think we could do both. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Okay? It's Paris. Paris is the city of all possibilities, the greatest city in the world.
Very true. Very, very true. I think it'll be fine. Should be.
Right. The salon of fence known as the École de Danse is restricted. It's open only to the upper levels of society. It requires wealth, it requires rank and status, which might have something to do with the fact that Brisecoeur is no longer an active member of the school, because we don't get paid, we don't have much rank.
But maybe they want me back. They heard of my charm.
That's
You
right.
should really pay more attention to your salon. You should take an example from me. I'm always at the Renoir Academy.
All right. To get a direct invitation handwritten by Ricard Dumasque is an honor. And you're met at the door.
Bonsoir.
It's fairly well known, at least among fighting men such as yourselves, that inside the salon, many of the people wear masks. And when you encounter someone in a mask there, you may not speak to them. They are there undercover. So someone with no mask, you can freely speak to them. But someone who is there masked does not wish to be spoken to. The only exception to the rule is the fencing master himself. Okay. So you're waved in because of your letter, and you can hear the sounds of music in the main salon, the entertainment salon, at the front of the building. And in the back is where the fighting, the fencing would actually take place. The gentleman at the front door informs you that Ricard will be with you in a moment. Please make yourselves comfortable. This is a very richly appointed room. Very comfortable seats, low lights, soft music, and just out through an inner door, you can see, of course, dancing. Men and women dancing together, complicated, very modern dances with effortless grace. You are in a small waiting room next to this chamber.
Toute cette grâce. Only French knows how to do it. Eh, my friend? Isn't it great?
Well, this is a nice place. Looks a little bit too, what is the word I'm looking for? Ridiculous for my taste? All the dancing.
Well, ridiculous maybe, but you won't find that much beautiful things. Even in England, if you go there, if you ever wonder going there.
Why would you want to go there?
The finest. Eh?
Why would you want to go there?
England? Well, just to compare. And, well, of course. Well, I met some women from there who were, never mind.
It's always women for you, isn't it? I think I've sworn off women, mostly.
Oh, my friend. Women are essential to our life. It's essential to our happiness.
Oh, yeah, and essential to breaking our hearts as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, but, you can find so many of them. We are musketeers, the women are craving for us. That's what you should learn. You should just enjoy it. You are someone special here. We're working for the king. Isn't that a great privilege?
And at that moment, from behind you, two gentle hands brush your shoulders, and a face presses in between you, a face wearing a mask, his long curly hair, and he says, "Yes, you gentlemen are very special and welcome. Thank you for accepting my invitation. Would you care for a drink?"
Oh, absolutely.
You shouldn't talk to the guy. He has a mask. I say yes.
So he gestures, and a footman goes over and begins pouring something from a crystal decanter. And he says, "It is so good to see you looking so healthy, Alphonse, but so tired."
Oh, you know, working for the king is something stressful, but very, it enriches me.
I suppose, but when I was next to your face just now, I noticed along your neck, I saw the marks not of fighting, but of loving.
Oh, well, you have an eye for that?
That would explain the tired.
Tell me, Alphonse, who was she to wear you out so?
Oh, well, a young berry seller that came to the town with some of her the last thing she had taken from her fields, because winter, you know, winter time is there. So I had enjoyed some berries.
Yeah.
What an excellent way to put it. And could you please introduce me to who I assume is Philippe Moreau?
Yes, my great companion, musketeer, brother of arms, and the greatest swordsman in Paris. And yeah,
He stiffens at that a little bit.
I just stand like bolt upright. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. And I just grab his hand, just pump it.
well,
A pleasure. A pleasure.
Well, greatest swordsman in Paris. I saw him fight a couple of times. You know, he protects our country with his sword like no one else do.
I will accept your observation as a professional fighting man and beloved member of our academy. You've been too long absent from this hall, Alphonse.
I've been practicing with real life. Been practicing my lessons.
That's true, but that's repeating what you know, not expanding what you know.
Well, depends. Well, it depends. You know, it saved my life a couple of times.
That's true. You're looking well. But may I speak to you in private just for a moment?
Yes, I can. Okay.
Philippe, please have a seat, and or if you'd prefer, a dance with one of our charming companions.
You should.
Oh, of course, of course.
You're a great dancer.
He sweeps out of the room, expecting Alphonse to follow. What do you do?
I'm following.
Okay. And Philippe?
I'm going to start wandering around this hall. I'm not going to dance with anybody, but I'm just going to look about.
Okay.
And probably go up to the first person with wearing a mask and begin to try to engage in conversation.
All right. We'll deal with that in a second. Okay. So you follow Ricard out of the room and into another room just like it, just next to it. So out onto the dance floor and then into another room.
Yeah.
And he closes the door, and it's all heavily padded. This is more like a library or an office. And once he closes the door, the sound of the music on the other side, the sound of the dancing, is muted, not nearly so loud. And he says, Alphonse, I'm serious. It is too long since you've been among us, and your fame is rising. It is time for you to return to us.
Okay. But I don't qualify to the standards of the I'm not very rich. I'm a musketeer. I'm doing it only for fame, and yeah, I know that I can qualify as the quality of person that I am, but or the other parts, you know, the parts that is written on paper, I don't think I am from your standards.
It is true. Many members among us come to us because of rank, because of position, because of wealth. And this is beginning to wear on my soul. While I'm not willing to open the door to anyone, I know that you are a true nobleman in your heart.
Of course.
You understand what we teach here in your heart. And so, I would be willing to sponsor you.
Oh.
If you could encourage your friend Phillipe to join you.
Ah.
2 musketeers, 2 famous representatives of the king's protection, studying here in my salon.
You want Phillipe? Well, I know many musketeers who could qualify to some place like this, Phillipe.
But nobody has heard of them.
I'll have to think about it. No, I don't want to hurt his feeling. I think he has... yeah, I know that his school of fencing is not the most prestigious. I think it's one of the most brutal of the city.
It's populated by gangsters and thieves, and if he were to leave it and come to us, his own star would rise, our star would rise, and we could forget about that Renoir school.
Okay. I think I respect the man enough to, well, talk about it to him, but respect his choice. You know, I'd really like to get into the school, but you know, I think he has lots of friends in Renoir. Beside musketeers, these only friends are there.
I understand. Well, I leave it in your hands. If my offer has value to you, then please enjoy the evening, and thank you once again for accepting my invitation.
Oh yeah. Take a drink, have a small chat, and try to come back to you with an answer from Phillipe.
All right. And he sweeps out of the room dramatically and back out deep onto the dance floor. And as the door opens, you catch sight of Phillipe moving around, who has spotted some masked individuals on the dance floor, and I am assuming is trying to cut in.
Absolutely.
And I'll let him go. With
Now,
an amused grin.
There are some women who are masked, and there are some men who are masked on the dance floor dancing.
Mm-hmm. I do make my way in, and if there's a masked woman not dancing with anyone, I do engage the dance with her without talking.
Well, that is easy. Just like me, you suddenly have a warm and cuddly individual in your arms and are able to sweep out onto the dance floor. Phillipe, what are your intentions?
My intentions are really, I look at the dancers, I look at the beautiful women, some masked, some not masked. But then I grab a glass of wine from one of the many servitors, you know, around, and kind of walk up to the first man that's just kind of standing there with a mask on. And not because I want to make trouble, but just he looks more important than anybody else. This is quite some place, isn't it?
The man makes no sign that he has heard you and walks away.
Huh.
Very gracefully.
How rude. I remember.
His sword hilt is glinting. It's encrusted with gems and possibly laid with gold.
Another rich, stuck up. I say, sir. I said hello.
He begins to move through, effortlessly navigating through the dancing, swirling couples who are moving around the dance floor. Someone else comes up to the bar, masked, to take a drink, just gestures, and they're served in silence.
I don't know if you just saw that, but I said hello to this gentleman, and he just walked away from me. Who is that?
The masked man politely nods and walks away.
What kind of... Alphonse! What kind of people are these? I just shout right
and while I'm dancing, I do kiss the hand of the dancer, and I'm looking at her, you know, invitingly. But I go to Phillipe. Who are these? Well, these are members of the School of Dance.
Well, these members of the School of Dance don't know how to address or even politely engage with the King's Musketeer because they're too stuck up and rich. Last week.
Well, Phillipe, there are many layers to this the society in Paris, and this is one of them. You have to learn how it works.
The footman and the servitor at the bar that's distributing the champagne is like gesturing very politely to Alphonse to lean in.
I'm leading in.
And to Monsieur as well.
Phillipe.
Some of the men here tonight and some of the ladies as well have within their power to write a short letter and have people disappear into the Bastille or into the Seine. It would, for your own safety and perhaps for ours, let it go.
I will take what you say under advisement, but be aware that I have the power to make people disappear as well, and it does not take very long. They say the pen is mightier than the sword. They are wrong.
Are you Phillipe Moreau?
I am. You recognize me? Ah.
Well, I know Alphonse.
Yeah.
And I heard maybe you were coming. Oh, it's an honor to meet you.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
I know.
Look, those peoples here have their ways, Phillipe. They're not doing well. They're okay if they want to make us disappear. That is another story. But they're not making any wrongs. They're just have these elegant customs.
And rude. You know, I believe that perhaps the people at the Lamb would talk to us a little bit more. I think they understand the sword. You think it's time to leave?
Well, we can leave. I have to talk to you about something on the way to the Lanyo.
Of course.
Bon. So, have a great evening, everybody. It was great to see you again.
Some people nod and wave, and
I
Alphonse,
do that.
come back soon. Alphonse, come back soon.
Yeah, and I'm kissing to the girl, the lady that I danced with.
She seems heartbroken that you're leaving.
Is the party finishing late tonight?
The footmen usher you out onto the street.
Okay. Oh, it's because of the invitation.
The absurd place. What did you say again about the masks? There was something about the masks.
You don't talk to them.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. There's too much crap to remember. It's ridiculous.
Well, at the same time, it has its value. Not talking can be a good thing.
You should try it sometime.
Well, Well, yeah, I never had the privilege to wear the mask when I was going there. They think that, well, maybe I wasn't able.
I will buy
Well,
one.
would have spent the rest of the evening there. You know, the lady, I was cooking her. You know, she would have talked by the end and screamed my name.
Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly.
Hey, Philip.
Yes.
How it's going at Renoir School?
Oh, fantastic. I'm training students. Denis is a great friend. I am practicing. I am more and more. I do not get hit when I defend the post. Sometimes I still get hit. It was good. I enjoy it. It is like my second home after the barracks.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, I had a great offer. Well, we got there, but I had a great offer. Yeah, they want me in the School of Dance. They invite me, even though I'm not, well, a noble, a technical noble as it should be. No, I'm a noble in my heart, of course, but yeah, they want me to get back in the school, but they have, well, they have a condition, but I don't feel. Oh, what condition? They want you to join their school.
They want me to join.
Yeah, all the masked people dancing. Well, if you want to,
you are the funniest man I have ever met.
Well, that is the idea of Richard. If you want to rise up into society in Paris, that would be a great thing. And it's not bad to learn some of those dancing moves. At least it entertains your enemy before killing them.
Oh, we need another drink.
I knew it, but think about it. It would help me get into the school.
Because you were a friend, I will think about this. But we have not drunk enough tonight.
I won't abuse if you're drunk to let you say yes to something you don't want, but you'll have to think about it seriously, okay? You can get over all those crazy customs they have in it, and just think to account that you would rise up in ranks and you'd be more famous by getting there, and you learn some cool moves to fight.
Yes, I'm famous. I'm famous Philippe Monroe. I will put a mask on. You do not know who I am. I'm not going to talk to you.
Well, you don't.
I like you, Brisecoeur.
I try to remember the mask thing. Is it an obligation at some point?
No, the masks are people who don't want to be recognized either just that night, that day. If they're doing something secretive within the the confines of the salon, or that sort of thing.
So you don't have to wear the mask, and the masked people are very funny. They have all something to hide. So you are in the middle of a constant conspiracy and the complot. But yeah, I know that I came to respect the Renoir school. I always thought that they were kind of a peasant type of school, but with all the grace you fight and what you learn from there, I came to respect the place and to how great men you are, and I know that they have a positive influence on you, and being positive, well, brings a lots of good thing in life. But yeah, we will talk about the School of Dance because the annual is there. We can sing, we can hear the rowdy singing in there.
Thank you. And I grasp Brisecoeur by the shoulders. It's like, thank you for embracing the common people. You have my respect.
Oh, I love common peoples. There are lots of the ladies are beautiful there too. don't need to have great dresses. And yeah.
At that point, I begin to cry just a little bit. A little tear rolls down my cheek.
Oh. Are you gentlemen on your way to the risen lamb?
Oh, we are.
We.
Okay. So the very vulgar, very explicit sign is hanging there in the narrow alleyway. And you can hear the sounds from within the tavern or within the public house. People inside are having a great time. It's very fast tempo songs being played, and a lot of voices inside singing along with the choruses. And the stamping of heavy mugs on tabletops.
Chevalier de la table ronde. Hey, c'est bon. That's a good song. That's a good one. Allons voir si le vin est bon.
As you get close, somebody comes flying out of the door, right? And was probably the owner is saying, "If you can't pay, you can't drink."
You're looking in my pockets. I have some Louis.
But you guys are drinking on someone else's tab tonight.
Ah,
yes, we are.
Okay.
The man who was thrown out gets up and he says, "I can't pay. And I already drank."
Paris.
And
This
he
looks
goes
more familiar.
staggering off into the darkness.
Okay, I need some singing. I need some to see our my tree training. My three trainees.
That's right, the 3 trainees.
Oh, I'm trying to look at them. Trying to look for them. Don't remember the names. I should watch the OneNote, but
There's Lazar and Pascal and
Lazar.
Michelle, I think.
Right. Okay. So, moving in, it really is packed. Right. And warm and inviting. It's a good bar. It's not the Coq Santet. It's not your bar. But it's a good bar. At least in terms of camaraderie. There are areas off to your left which are more in shadow and seem to be occupied by people who got there already. There are long benches, row after row of benches down the middle of the room, only interrupted by wooden posts to support the roof. It looks like toward the back there is a second floor, and maybe there's some rooms up there above the kitchen. But this is just a one-story room, has a dirt floor and stone walls and narrow windows, and there's candles piled on candles. There's massive mountains of wax, and that smell of wet straw on the floor, overcooked stew, and spilled drink.
Smells like home.
Yeah, a couple of masked people, and it will be a real party here.
So, in the middle of the room, right, Lazar stands up and says, "Brisecoeur, Phillipe."
Hey.
He looks lit.
I'm looking around if there's any woman's worth of taking, even if they're accompanied with a man or not.
Ah. Well. Indeed. There are women. There's women in groups. There's women near the 2 musicians. There are serving wenches galore, and they seem very friendly and interested in the customers. And in the nicer part, slightly nicer part, you see, well, almost stops your heart. If there was a painting of the perfect woman, it would be this woman. And her face is so sad, but she's obviously trying to maintain a sense of polite attention to her companion. Like the sadness is buried within, and maybe only you can see it. As time slows down around you, and the volume of the tavern drops in your mind, and almost like a spotlight of candlelight on her face, until you notice her companion, Henri.
Ah, Phillipe. This will be an interesting night.
Are you hearing that music in your head again?
No, that music.
No, you know that part where your face went like this, and I could not wave my hand in front of it, and
no, I'm not.
That is Henri.
Oh yeah, Henri.
And this woman, I saw you. I saw the look. I have seen this look before. You look at this woman, and it does not matter what happens. So you think this is a good idea? Let's see. You've slept with his wife. Now you want to sleep with his girlfriend. I think that's a fine idea.
This is a fine idea because she deserves it.
You should take my advice on this one.
Walking over to the table. Walking over to the table, carrying more drinks with the help of a serving lady, a lovely serving lady, is Hair and Boots.
Oh, well, Etienne. This is Hair is called. Was it Etienne?
Etienne Lebeau.
Well, Etienne Lebeau. Oh, this is a Cardinal's place.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to the table. Hey, Lazare.
Brisecoeur. Don't mind them. They don't usually drink here.
Well, as we do. We're all the same here, man, isn't it?
That's true. Drinks?
Oh, yes. I plot myself right down. Absolutely. Let's not waste time. This looks like it's going to be one fine night, gentlemen.
Oh, this will be.
So he yells out for Marie. Marie, drinks.
No, we need some drinks. Let's see. Gentlemen, something I haven't teach you, and something that is only teachable outside of the Louvre. It's how to take a woman's heart. How do we do that? Do you know?
Oh, I think Lazare has done that a couple times himself, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. I want to stand up. My leg is hurting. You see, I'll show you how to do this.
Okay. So I misspoke. It's not Etienne Lebeau. It's Etienne Legrand.
Yeah.
And Boots is Jean-Luc Thibodeau.
Oh, Jean-Luc Thibodeau.
Hey. Missing is Nathaniel Brasseur.
Right.
Lots of good friends here.
You have suggested to your 3 new trainees that you're going to give them a rare lesson in wooing women. Am I correct in that?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So the other patrons of the bar, they seem like normal crafts people. Some of them have familiar faces because you pass by their shops in the normal run of your day.
Oh.
Many of them you've never seen before. A lot of them are dressed roughly. And this is a rough lower class bar. A well-placed musketeer might be a little out of place here, and certainly the Cardinal's guards similarly, especially one who's achieved the rank that Henri has, was a little out of place. The woman at the table being entertained by the 3 cardinals' guards likewise is dressed much too nicely for such a place. And there's a lot of jealous looks from, you know, the cheap tables toward that table from a lot of unhappy looking people. But of course, the threat of 3 cardinals' guards would keep anyone from ever approaching the table, right?
All right. Okay. You want to see that? Are you ready for your lesson?
Brisecoeur! A cheer goes up.
Alphonse.
Alphonse! Alphonse! Alphonse!
I'm standing. I've said okay. Okay, well, stand up with me. We'll pay a visit to those ladies. Say hi to our Cardinal Guards friend. Phillipe, you can come along because if someone needs to be put back in place, you're the fastest to do. The fastest to do that.
Oh, but I want to see you woo the woman. I think I would like be in the way. Maybe if I could just sit here and watch for a moment.
Oh, okay. Then
I mean, I could come with you if you'd like, but I'm tired. We walked all the way over here. I hate to. I just feel like my presence would ruin everything.
Well, we're basically in the same room, so I feel comfortable and I'm feeling safe. Okay, I take my drink. I do make my way through the crowd, checking out if my 3 trainees are still up to it and following me.
They're following you. They're quite drunk, but they're following.
Oh, I've already kicked my feet up on top of the chair that Brisecoeur was sitting on before. I'm not.
They're drunk. I haven't calculated that part.
So their inhibitions, their willpower is lower.
I will have to compensate. Okay. Good night.
You can see the face of the woman. You're behind the 3 cardinals' guards.
And the women are sitting in front of them?
Right. She's across the table. So you can see her from the front. And the 3 cardinals' guards are on your side of the table.
Okay. Okay, I'm smiling at the woman. Good evening, ladies. Mesdames. Mes honneurs.
Now, she's the only woman at the table. So she smiles very politely.
Monsieur, you didn't come to say hi to us.
Very slowly, the heads turn around. Henri, Etienne, and Jean-Luc recognize you.
Bonsoir.
They also quite drunk. The woman, by comparison, looks to be quite well in control of herself. But Henri's face is flushed.
I see, Henri, that you're in good company. I'm talking about your mans, of course.
Of course you are. Look, everyone. It's Brisecoeur. The lady.
À votre service. Oh!
We all know about him. He's the one who broke into the King's Palace.
N'est-ce pas, monsieur? I'm looking at my 3 trainees. I'm the one.
The rumors are now, oh, he's the musketeer who broke into the palace. He was naked in the street, you know.
Yes, I am.
You receive a style for experiencing discomfort because of your bad reputation.
Oh, man. And I say, of course, because I have the courage to fight evil against France and run naked in the Louvre. Which, well, maybe you're good at one of them, but the naked part, You're not even up to it.
The woman leans across the table and said, "If I heard the story correctly, the sword he's carrying on his hip is not his most impressive one."
You heard the right story, of course. I'm looking at the guys. You have to talk about your two swords.
So, Jean-Luc Thibodeau, the man who is not fit to shine anyone's boots, oh, he's angry. And he stands up and he begins fumbling with his buckle.
Calm down, my friend. I'm looking at him. Calm down. We are all here to drink. Is it because you don't have such a lovely lady with you? Of course you would like to have one. I can arrange that for you.
What are you talking about? She's here with me. And Henri's get that look of anger on his face like, no, she's not. She's here with me, but he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, but well, you can share pleasure with many more women than just one. I'll show you. Look at that one, and I'm pointing to some lonely lady in the balcony. Look at her smile. She's smiling. Yeah, that big brute with her that is kissing her neck is just a detail. She's not lonely, finally.
I don't need dating advice from you. You're not really sure who he's pointing at, but he seems to be talking to you.
Oh, I know that it's about me. Look, Jean-Luc, your boots are fine tonight.
He's got puts his hand out on your shoulder in a friendly way. You know, his right hand. He's like, I hate you so much.
That's why I appreciate you. That makes things more interesting, isn't it? Because you think about me. If that wasn't about that hate, we'd just be strangers. But in a sense, you think about me and I feel comfortable. And I'm sure you all do. Gentlemen?
He's got his other hand up on your other shoulder like he's almost ready to hug you. So I think about you all the time.
It's because you're jealous. You don't want my advice, but I want to give you them to you free. Okay? Well, what means in your life is not about hating me. It's about having a lovely company. If you don't, there's something you are missing out. Yeah, there's a detail. That lady across the table, and I'm pointing at the one that I want. I'm sure she's convinced. Did you really convince her? You want me to show how to convince her? No?
Etienne stands now.
Oh, you want advice too?
No, I think I want to show everyone in this place who truly, without tricks, is the better swordsman.
You have lost once against me. You want to lose twice?
That wasn't fair.
It was.
It wasn't.
You did. Well, you can prove what you're. And I'm looking at your trainees. Everything is going well. I'm waving at Phillipe.
When you turn around, you can see people are exchanging money. They're betting on something.
I kind of wave back, paying very close attention to the goings on, but really enjoying myself.
It wasn't fair. Oh, well, it was in front of people of high society. It was a fair fight. We should laugh about it.
And while this conversation is taking place, Henri is leaning across the table, encouraging the woman to leave with him. Right? It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be ugly. We should leave, kind of thing. And she's completely ignoring him. She only has eyes for you.
And I'm looking at her. You see, that lady is convinced that I am fair. I am fair in many aspects of my life. When I'm looking at her, I know that I am fairly looking at her beauty.
That's right. She is exquisite.
So, Etienne, what is the point? Well, you have drink. Well, let's drink together.
I wouldn't drink with you.
Well,
there are very few occasions where I would drink with you.
When you come at my own?
I would prefer to drink with the person who's usually at home, not with you.
What do you mean? You come at the Musketeers' barrack? That's what you say?
Do you live in the barracks now?
Yes,
How sad.
It's very comfortable. Well, if you want to visit my home, be sure not to blow up with it.
Perhaps because you have not paid your rent. I keep forgetting that the King's Musketeers work for loyalty, not for money.
We
Then you realize
we're fighting for the.
He realizes a beat later that he didn't really insult you.
Yeah, and we're fighting for loyalty, of course. Yeah, that's what Musketeer is doing.
At this moment, there is a clearing of the throat behind you. Familiar voice. It is the voice of Claude, Martin's lackey.
Oh, Claude.
Excuse me. I've been looking for you.
Yeah, and Phillipe is there, by the way.
Ah! I wanted to remind you that there was confusion about your duty in the morning. Well, it has been cleaned up.
What confusion?
If you had to work tomorrow morning or not.
And I have?
You do. You have a very important assignment. He wants you to step away from all these ears.
Sorry, gentlemen. I will come back and entertain you in a moment. Okay. What is it? Claude?
He wants to guide you over to where Phillipe is.
Hey, Phillipe. This is Claude. There.
Ah, Claude. You've just come in just enough time to see all the fun. Drink?
He leans in and he's whispering, says, "You have a very special duty in the morning."
What's that?
The king, the queen, and the cardinal, and some other dignitaries are having a meeting early in the morning, just after sunrise. And you are in the honor guard.
Just after sunrise?
You are requested specifically by Monsieur de Treville and Brisecoeur and the queen.
Oh.
Barmaid brings more drinks to the table.
Well, okay, but thank you, Claude. We'll get that in mind. So I will just Okay. Well, okay. Did you tell my new lackey Alain? Because he's a little tough to wake up in the morning.
I gave him a good kick, sir.
And what about Jacques?
Oh, gosh. Claude, will you wake us up?
Yes, sir. I will wake you up.
Thank you. I owe you. I owe you.
Yeah, Eugene used to wake up very early in the morning by throwing plates all around when he was angry.
Yeah, which I imagine was often. So it appears we cannot stay out very late tonight, Brisecoeur, which is disappointing. But we're supposed to be there early in the morning. If you're supposed to be there at the request of the Queen, we can't necessarily go there hungover now, can we?
I want drink, but I want to accelerate the thing. Okay, look at this, and all the three. Okay, they are still standing. Lazare, Pascal, Michel, waiting for my lesson.
That's right, they are, and the Cardinals guards have sat back down, but it does seem like their mood has been broken, and they're trying to convince the woman to leave. The woman her body language suggests that she'd like to stay a little longer.
And that's why I'm coming at the table. Okay, I'll shortcut the lesson. I go around the table. I take the lady by the hand. Would you like to join us at our table? I think your friends are tired tonight, but we're still open to conversation. I'd like to introduce you to one of my greatest friends.
She turns, makes direct eye contact, and says, Alphonse, is it?
À votre service, madame. I'm honored.
I know that you might enjoy this place, but I've had to endure it and the company of these gentlemen for long enough. Perhaps there's somewhere else we could go. I have a carriage.
You do.
Well, of course.
I'm looking at Henri. Well, no comments. You stand up.
Furious.
And I offer her my arm.
She stands. Jean-Luc stands. Etienne stands. Henri stands. And then, out of the darkness of the bar, a man with an eye patch, Rochefort, drops his heavy gloved hand on the back of Henri's neck. And he whispers, but you can still hear. He whispers to Henri, say goodnight to the musketeer.
Okay.
And Henri bids you good night.
Well, lady, come with me.
Jean-Luc, in getting out of the way, manages to really smash your shoulder with his shoulder, but he does get out of the way and line up next to Henri and Etienne in front of Rochefort. Rochefort, who's making eye contact.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm looking at Rochefort. Nice to meet you again, my lord.
It's always a pleasure, Alphonse.
We should have a game of cards in the near future. Just to talk.
I am at your disposal. Milady. And he bows to her.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Okay.
She's gripping your hand very tightly.
Okay, so I'm looking at Three Musketeers. Well, I'll tell you a report of what happened. That's next time we see each other.
And then she says to them, if he's awake.
I'll be.
And you leave with her?
Of course.
Phillipe, you've been abandoned.
Not the first time. I'll go right up to Rochefort. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you again, sir. I just grab his hand.
He shakes it. He returns it. He returns the grip firmly.
You know what I like about you?
My eyes.
No, it's that you don't wear a mask.
Oh, do tell. He breaks off from from his three, just dismisses them with a hand, and gets closer to you. Do tell.
I was over at Brisecoeur's, well, the school he's from, the school of dance. I met a lot of people. I guess they're too important to talk to me. They wear the mask, you can't talk to them. You? We may have our disagreements, our ideological disputes, choice of colors, but at least you'll speak to me.
And that's true. And if I wanted you dead, you'd know it. You'd be facing me. And you'd be holding a weapon.
I wouldn't have it any other way, sir.
Enjoy your evening, Musketeer.
You too, my lord. You too. It has been a pleasure.
He snaps his fingers, and the Cardinal's guards follow him out.
Oh, well, fellows,
that was amazing. He just walked over to the table, and he said, "Would you like to go in?" And then she just got up and went.
Yes, this is
like
exactly
completely
how it
blind
goes.
to the whole Rochefort, almost a duel, death in the tavern kind of thing. They're just focused on. He just walked up to the table and held out his hand.
Yep, it's unbelievable, isn't it, fellas? Unbelievable. He is a rare talent among men.
And so, what do you do with the rest of your evening?
Well, I'm not one to disappoint the king or the queen or, well, the cardinal, or Monsieur de Trevise. So I'm going to call it a night. There's nothing else I can do here. And so as much as I'd like to stay out, I believe I've had my fun for the evening.
Okay. So as you leave, they thank you for all the hard work. They thank you for coming out, blah, blah, blah. And as you leave, you do see the sign, you do see a very luxurious carriage rolling away into the darkness. And across the street, a shadowy figure, cloak up, watching from an alleyway.
Hmm.
When you come out, they stiffen and retreat back down the alley.
I'm going to regret this. Curiosity is getting the better of me, and I'm going to follow them down the alley.
Okay. How invested are you in catching them?
Fairly invested.
Okay. Then catch them. You do. This person is definitely not an athlete. And you hear familiar breathing as you get close. It is a young woman who usually works in disguise for your dear friend Alphonse. And she smells at the moment of bread and sadness.
What are you doing here?
Nothing. Walk me home.
I give her my arm. Of course, my dear. Of course.
You guide her home to the favorite crescent shop at Le Pont Neuf, and then return to the barracks.
Right. And I give her a hug and a kiss on the cheek. A pat on the head.
Hey, it's my leg.
Go to bed. Go to bed. On the cheek.
Oh, yeah.
The pat on the head. And I just... Oh.
Now, because by my record, very little was drunk by Phillipe. His military training asserts itself, and he's able to make his early morning curfew with the assistance of Claude. Brisecoeur, on the other hand, Well, up all night? Or did you slip away? Or try to slip away in the early hours to get some sleep?
Well, I'll try to get some sleep, at least a nap.
Okay. Alrighty. So what I would like from you, Brisecoeur, because this woman is so perfect.
Her name?
She doesn't want to deal with names at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But her estate suggests she comes from a great deal of wealth.
Oh.
Now, the estate itself is mostly empty at this time. She has arrived in Paris early, she mentions, and is supposed to be staying with a friend. But she is so perfect. What I would like from you is the force of will to break away.
The Queen is...
The Queen will help.
The Queen will help. So I have a bonus because of the Queen?
You have a bonus of 2 dice because of the Queen.
And I put 6 style points on that.
So this is your willpower times 2 plus 8 dice.
Yeah. 8 dice to roll.
The difficulty is 5.
I can't average that. 5. Do I take chancy dice on that?
Oh.
I guess I don't want to roll that. Oh no, the Queen. Oh, okay. What can I do? Okay, willpower.
Times 2.
Times 2, yeah. Oh, times 2. Okay.
Yeah.
So
plus 8.
Plus 8. Okay. Maybe I have a chance.
You got a chance.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 12 dice to roll.
Oh yeah, of course. You should be able to make this.
I can average that. Can I?
Do you want to really? Just to do it naturally? Leave this one?
Yeah. I'm giving her some natural pleasure all night, so it deserves a natural roll for this one.
All right, this is the classic. This is where we're supposed to roll dice.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 successes. I'm giving her the night of her life. Well, that's what I think. And at some point, kiss her hand and say, "Will we see each other, mysterious lady?"
I'll call you.
I'm at the barracks.
For you.
I'm at the barracks. My lackey is Alain. He's good with messages. So
because it's so easy for you to leave her, she merely rolls over and says, "Next time."
I'm looking forward to it. I'm running at my barracks, trying to have a nap.
So you arrive in yesterday's clothes, and there's a knock at the door. It's Claude saying, "It's time, it's time."
Already?
What do you mean already?
Well, you said early. That is early for me.
Quick.
Okay. Alain, wake up.
So, Elaine's sitting there next to the wall. He's holding your sword in one hand, your hat in the other. He's just asleep.
Okay, hurry. Oh, man. Eugene was faster than that. It was just his temper, the problem, because he was very good at that.
Yes, I understand. I'm not a good lackey. Eugene was the best lackey.
Well, You were musketeer in training. Now you're lacking training. Okay.
I'll try to do better. You're very late. Roll.
No, I'm not. They just not. I'm okay. Yeah, maybe a little. Okay.
Okay, so we jump ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Upstairs in the Louvre, near one of the secret passageways that allows the cardinal to enter into negotiations or discussions with the king or whoever quietly without raising attention, you form up. All right, so you're waiting for the cardinal and his honor guard to arrive through this passage. And you're waiting for the queen to arrive with her guard before the passage. With you is D'Artagnan.
Captain.
The king has arrived. Right. Monsieur Treville is present. All right. So D'Artagnan does, a walk down the line of the two of you, looking at uniforms, leaning in a little bit, sniffing. Right. Monsieur Treville and the king are discussing in quiet tones. Right. And you're going to be not going very far, just going into a very large meeting hall and map room. And from deeper in the palace, you hear footsteps on the marble floors. You know that the queen's entourage is arriving. And with her, in his priest's cassock, you see Aramis. And with him is Martin. And the two are having a discussion as they walk behind the queen, and you can faintly overhear it. It's something along the lines of, if you want that to happen, you either have to pray for it and marry into it, or do what great heroes in the past have done, you have to take it. But for you, young man, I recommend doing what Porthos did. Marry into it. Then as they near, he just zips his lips. And the queen makes eye contact with Brisecoeur, and her eyes just slide off of him and find the king. And she bows, and he bows, and at that moment, the cardinal comes sweeping in with, as you might expect, Henri, Jean-Luc, Etienne, and Rochefort.
I bow almost imperceptibly at Rochefort.
So these three great people meet, the queen, the king, the cardinal. The guards are expected to stay out of the way. Right. And Monsieur Treville bows and says, "Please, shall we go to chambers?" The cardinal, as he moves, looks at each of you much the same way that D'Artagnan did. And he stops in front of Alphonse to say, "I didn't know they allowed you back in the palace."
They need the best.
Well, I'm glad that you are protecting this meeting. You and your friend, Moreau. Am I correct?
At your service, sir.
The famous.
And he has more meaningful glances for Aramis and for D'Artagnan. Of course. He doesn't exchange words with them. And he shoots a couple of looks Martin's way, but doesn't exchange words with him. And then he makes his way into the meeting room. The last to enter is the queen, who gives the two of you a little smile. And she makes her way in. So this leaves you, Martin, outside the door. The cardinal's guards inside the room with D'Artagnan, with Aramis. Rochefort leaves.
Okay,
You're looking really tired, Alphonse, says Martin.
Oh, so one of those nights.
And in tribute to it being one of those nights, I would like you to make a body roll.
Mm-hmm.
This is body times 2.
One of these nights.
And you're rolling against a 4.
So I need 4 successes. That's where Chancy dices come into action. So if I add 2 dice,
you'll increase it to a 5 difficulty.
5, 6. Mm-hmm. I'm adding 6 Chancy dice. So it's a difficulty of 7.
Correct.
With 10 dice.
Wow.
Look at this. Here are those dice.
Man of love.
Mm-hmm. I'm praying to God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not past 5.
Okay. So we will now apply the difference as 2N. 2 non-lethal wounds. This is the fatigue you've taken from no sleep and lots of physical activity and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah, one of those nights. Like I said, what are the orders right now? After what happened?
Oh. Martin fills you in. This should be a very simple and prestigious duty. All we have to do is stand here and make sure no one gets in. We have guards on the roof and everything. It's very important. They're going to create a new unit of musketeers.
Really?
For the Queen. The Queen's musketeers.
The Queen's? Yes.
And there'll be women.
Women?
I was about to apply.
There's still time.
I can.
Yeah, Aramis was telling me about it. I'm not sure how he feels about it, but the Queen is very, very sincere, and she said it has something to do with fear of people coming through her window.
It's not the people. The people are coming at their window. These are the crows.
And naked musketeers.
I wasn't in their room. I was in Anne Bourdon's room.
You may have a style point for suffering the ill effects of your flaw. An entire guard unit has been created because of you.
Well, I'd say something that some women won't like, but they can't fight.
You should apply for that. You would not believe it, but there are people walking around Paris masquerading as the opposite sex right under our noses.
It's their problem.
Aramis let me know. Aramis let me know that they're looking for, sergeants to train them.
Oh. They need trainers for women.
I think that would be a tremendous opportunity. It's at this moment that you hear the sound of shattering glass, and you hear the strong voice of D'Artagnan taking charge. This is happening inside the room.
What happens?
I'm going to try to burst through the door. I'm wasting no time.
Go for it. Burst through the door.
All righty. What shall I do besides burst through the door?
Well, inside the room, I'll tell you what you see, because the doors aren't locked. They've got 3 stalwart guards there. Okay.
Boom.
So you slam the doors open. It's a very, very large square room. And in the center of the room, you can see the cardinal moving to one side toward his guard. See that the queen has got her hands over her face. She's screaming in terror. See D'Artagnan is charging in grand fashion toward the huge window. The big curtains are billowing in the wind. And it seems like he's going to push someone back out the window, right? And the broken glass all over the floor is scattering as he charges toward the window. And Monsieur Treville is yelling at you and Martin, take the queen, take the queen.
Alrighty. That's what I'm doing. I'm grabbing the queen.
And Aramis comes forward, hiking up his priest's robes and says, I'll take her. Go with D'Artagnan.
Who's giving the order, actually, to you guys?
Brisecoeur, help with the queen. I'm just running towards D'Artagnan after I stop for a minute.
I'm going to take care of the queen.
Okay, so you, Aramis, and Martin rush out with the queen.
Mm.
Okay. Phillipe, as you charge across the floor toward the area where the broken glass is, toward the window, you can kind of out of the corner of your eye and see the cardinal's guards. He's being ushered out back toward the secret passage that led them here, right? The king and Monsieur de Treville and new musketeers who've charged in from the back of the room, they're making their exit out the back of the room. Okay? D'Artagnan goes right out the window.
No, I follow him.
All right, so you get into the windowsill and you see him swinging out away from the wall of the Louvre, away from the palace, right? He's got his arms wrapped around a person who's all wrapped up in leathers, right, and hooded, who's trying to claw their way back up a rope, right, as they swing out away from the building. Okay? And they're beginning to swing back, bodies kind of oscillating as they come, glass raining down to the courtyard below.
Well, all right. Well, I have to jump on one of these ropes. This rope. So my intent is to really kind of jump out and grab the rope that this person bound in leathers is on.
Okay.
Right.
Above them or below them? They're swinging right back at you.
Oh, man. Below them.
Okay, go for it.
Absolutely.
You acrobatic devil, you.
Yeah, okay. So what am I? We're going to call this acrobatics. There. Will I be able to synergize with athletics as I leap out magnificently?
Yes, because I do not hate you.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you so much for not hating me today. And today, yeah. Tomorrow, who knows? Who knows? But we will. Oh, that's remarkable. These blue dice like me today.
Woo.
So that is going to be 4, I believe. Yeah, 4.
All right. So then, as I imagine it, they swing out and they reach the maximum extent. And then as they're turning and beginning to come back, you're leaping out to grab the rope beneath their legs.
And that's exactly right.
Okay. Okay.
Impulsive, but not well thought out.
Truth. Because that means you are not going to go back into the room like they are. You're going to slam into the wall of the palace. Can you hang on?
Of course I can.
Strength, my friend.
All right. Fantastic. So we're just going to re-roll and double dice?
Yep, that's it.
All right.
The difficulty is 3.
All righty. Well, then I didn't invest 2 style in this because I really, really want to hang on.
Okay.
Give myself a couple more dice. So we will roll 8 dice here. And 4. Just hold on with all my might.
Nice. I'm going to give you the style point back. I'm going to give you the style point back for the bravery of it all. So, your body hits the side of the palace. The rope ripples, and D'Artagnan and the figure he's grappling with goes sliding into the room.
Oh, I could have thought this out better.
Looking up, you see someone looking down from the roof, similarly disguised.
Oh, well, I start going up the rope as fast as I can, like the man in black.
The head ducks out of the way. You pull yourself up with your strength to the edge of the roof, and you can see a small cluster of individuals. Now, the roofs are long rectangles, and they're broken by these tall, like clock towers, right, at different points of the U-shaped palace. Okay, so you've come up the back of the palace, and there's a variety of different ropes, and people are messing with the ropes. And whatever this group of assassins, it must be assassins, is doing, they were interrupted by the quick action of D'Artagnan and yourself, right? But you're now up there among them, and there are 5.
Easy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We're going to cut back. We're going to cut back inside the palace. So we're rushing with the queen, and the queen is asking Aramis if D'Artagnan will be okay. I'm safe.
He will be. He's the captain of the musketeer. Not for anything. You know, he's been there.
It's true, my lady. And you see another squad of King's Musketeers coming up from below, coming up the stairs. And he says, if you want to go help the captain, go.
He's talking.
Talking to you guys, yeah.
Yes. No, I'm okay with the queen. My lady, if you...
He goes, perhaps it is not right for her to be seen with you.
Okay.
You may have a style point.
Yeah. I'm looking at the queen. Maybe when this will calm down, we may cross each other. I go get to D'Artagnan, and I'm going upstairs, but not as fast as I am used to.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, I'm holding to the ramp.
Okay.
You make one bad decision, you get style points all the time. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, that's awesome.
So you get back upstairs. D'Artagnan is finishing off his opponent on the floor of the map of Europe. Okay. D'Artagnan is cut and bleeding from several wounds. So is his opponent. And what you can see is that the hood that the opponent is wearing has slipped a little bit, and a coil of red hair is clearly visible. And D'Artagnan is shaking. He looks dizzy, right, from the cuts.
Sit down, Captain. And I want to unmask.
He does, right? He just kind of, his legs give out firm underneath him. You move in to unmask the assassin, and you can see the blade that he was using. And it is coated with a sickly yellow substance.
the assassin at that. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Oh, and I'm rising up. Get the best apothecary here. Get the best medicine man. Where's?
So Martin is there with you. He says, "I can take care of him. I'm a doctor, remember?"
Yeah, of course. But and the face. Do I recognize the face of the assassin?
Not as the face, but as a family resemblance. The Spanish spy could be her sister. Could be his sister.
We have Spanish spies in the Louvre.
D'Artagnan is saying, "Get to the roof. Get to the roof."
Get to the roof. Okay. The fastest way is the rope. All right.
The fastest way is the rope. The most energetic way is all of the stairs up to the roof.
Okay. Climbing this morning is cruel. Okay. And I'm begin to climb.
Okay. Athletics.
Oh yeah, my best stat. Athletics. Oh, I have 4 dice, isn't that?
The difficulty's only 3.
Oh, only. Okay, 2 style points. I want to get. Well, depending on what I will meet there.
What it's going to determine is how quickly you can get up to the top.
No, I'm
if you
keeping.
get up to the top.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm not taking my style points yet, and I only have 1 success.
Leisurely.
So yeah, it's going to be one of these claws.
I have to take my breath once in a while.
Okay, so this 3 successes would have been up in a turn. 1 success, there's a delay of 2 turns. So Phillipe, you've seen what you've seen. You've got 3 turns to deal with these 5 individuals on your own.
And they do not have guns.
They do not have guns.
Okay, fine. It's just much better.
But as you are getting your footing on the roof, they're separating, abandoning whatever it was that they were doing with the ropes. And each one of them is drawing out 2 daggers.
Ooh.
One longer one and one, normal length one.
Fantastic. I want to position myself to see if I can take on only a couple of them at a time.
Okay.
Try to use all the footwork at my disposal to at least separate 1 or 2 of them from the rest of the pack, and not getting myself into a situation where they're going to surround me entirely. So use all my Renoir mojo and experience.
That's right. Okay. So tactically speaking, that would be to put your back to one of the towers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Protecting the tower. What could be easier? That's just like protecting the posts.
Yeah.
Just like glass.
Okay. Initiative.
All right. Initiative. Oh, I'll actually roll my dice. And that is a 3.
3.
That is a 3.
How awesome. Well, all right. You're going second.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what you see. You move into your position with the tower behind you. You have rapier and main gauche drawn?
I do.
Okay. So one of the assassins takes the lead and makes some kind of motion behind him to flank him. Okay. And then unexpectedly he charges, not directly at you, but diagonally across the roof. Right? So that he will get to where the tower is at the corner of the roof ledge and the edge of the tower. Right? So moving diagonally all the way across to the edge. So he's moving across in front of him. He's moving incredibly quickly. But when he gets to the wall, he changes direction suddenly, runs up the wall, trying to attack you from behind while his two assistants move in from the front to threaten. Let's see how well his gambit pays off, as you need to defend yourself against a multiplicity of attacks, my friend.
All right. I believe at this moment, it's going to want us to look at these rules using my rank of 2 in the academy. I'm trying to remember
Yes.
this vigorous defense that my master kept on trying to teach me.
Oh,
Good for
nice.
good for moments like this.
Okay. So you're curious what vigorous defense does, you mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that. Yeah.
It gives you an extra round of defense without the penalty.
That's right. That's what I'm. If I understand the rule correctly with that rank, I believe I should be able to do that.
Yep, you can. You can borrow.
I am
a
borrowing.
talent. Okay.
I'm remembering that lesson. This would be a good time to remember that. As I'm flashing back to that.
So yes,
painful lesson.
please flash back to a painful lesson with Charles Rodin.
Yeah. So I'm remembering. I'm watching this. I'm watching this all happen in front of me. This is too painful. Painfully reminiscent of those constant lessons defending that damn post. And then having several attackers come in, men that I did not realize were going to be part of the exercise. People of my salon, I thought, were simply watching this. The next thing you know, here they are, and the master telling me over and over again. I had to be ready to see that happening.
Okay.
And to defend against it. I'm remembering. This would be a good time to remember this.
You need to defend against the first attack from this main attacker, this first attacker. It's at 4 successes. It's a very tough attack.
Okay. I'm still using the parry talent, unless for some reason this will not apply here.
No reason why it wouldn't. You're all up.
Oh, good.
You're all good.
Fantastic. Ridiculous fistful of dice. And oh, that's disgusting. 6,
Good.
8, 9, 10.
Okay. And riposte?
Riposte with the remainder, which would be 6.
6. Okay. Okay, that's lovely. And I defend. Okay. You have definitely hurt him. This is where it gets ugly, right? You defend, right, against and riposte the first attack, slashing across him, but he's already launching the second attack. Also tough to defend against. Okay. Gotcha. Because you have borrowed the vigorous talent, you don't suffer the -2 on the defense.
Right. Fantastic. Alrighty. Well, parry again, and this is not quite as disgusting. Still 7. That's 9.
What was it?
That was 9.
9. Okay. And so Vito wants to be a part of the action. So you have defended yourself twice, and you have launched a deadly attack of your own. You know that you have made contact, but behind you there are now 2 more. right? His two allies or lackeys or whatever they are coming in, working together to make a combined attack against you. But they don't. They're boxing you in, trapping you in the end here with him.
You're toying with me.
Okay. Round 2. The man, almost from his standing position with his back against the tower, somersaults overhead.
Remarkable.
And as he's coming down, kicks. A brawl attack.
Ugh.
5.
5. Well, not wanting to die, I'm going to put honor to side and still attempt to. I'm going to parry with my sword rather than trying to block him any other way. Oh, good, because that's what I'm doing. So now I'm taking my -2 penalty at this point, I believe. So.
Oh, this is a new round. New round.
Oh, it's a new round. Okay, gotcha.
It's a new round.
All right, cool. Well, in that case, yes, I will still parry with my sword, which is 7.
Okay.
I'll riposte with 2.
Okay.
Stabbing him in the leg.
He makes no sound, right, other than the escape of air, and he collapses, rolls, and goes over the side of the building.
Mm-hmm. I see him fall.
Yeah, sure.
Oh! What's going on?
Okay. You'll reach the rooftop.
I'm just waiting for you.
Next turn. You still have 2 in front of you, Phillipe, and the other 2 are moving in. And from behind the other tower come 4 more. Now you hear shouts from below, familiar voices of musketeers, as the palace is being, raised to an alarm state because of the Spanish spies.
Oh, a little help here, a little help.
Okay.
But
okay.
At the same time, I look at my opponents and come on, let's get this over with.
They hold their ground, threatening with their blades, and the 2 from behind them launch into motion almost simultaneously. And they're doing the same kind of thing, moving diagonally across the terrain towards you, right? And moving incredibly quickly and agilely, one doing cartwheels, the other breaking into a low dive and somersault to come up, one on one side of you, one on the other, right? Both of them attacking twice with their daggers. Okay. So this winds up being 4 attacks at 4 that you need to deal with.
Fantastic.
So the first 2 are normal, and the second 2, right, -2, then -4.
Gotcha. All righty. So I'm a whirling dervish at this moment. The first one, I have 5 successes, so I actually managed to riposte with 1. The second one is 5, 6, 7, 8.
Nice.
Successes, so I handily take care of that one without a problem. Let's see. 9, 11. Next one. Fortunately, it's 8. So the dice love me tonight.
Good.
And last but not least is 5. So just barely squeak by. So I'm a whirling dervish of blades, and I'm really impressed by these guys and their movements as You know, just begrudgingly, like, really, well, these guys are pretty good. I have to learn to move like that. I'm pretty good. And I don't know how much longer I can keep this up, but
once, maybe twice, your blade has found their flesh. Right. Now, Brisecoeur's head comes up over the ledge in time to see the end of that exchange. And they're using the same kind of knives that the assassin had in the room below with D'Artagnan.
Beware the blade, Phillipe. I think it's poison.
You think it's poison? Good. I think it's also a blade as well. They're trying to kill me. Did you not notice this? I hope you have brought help.
I'm climbing as fast as I can, trying to be on my foot.
Okay.
Trying to be on my foot before they come to me.
So, Brisecoeur, one of the assistants, right? One of the people that are trying to keep Phillipe boxed into that small space, right? Sees you, lays down on the ground, rolls towards you to grip you in a grapple and pull you back down the rope.
Yeah, okay. So I have to grapple back. This is
or
a brawl?
Defend.
Well, defend. I'll do my standard defense on that.
All right.
They're good. So yeah, okay. What do they get?
What did you get?
I'll use 2 style points. I get 4.
4. It is enough. So he rolls over you and falls away and then grabs lower on the rope, causing it to jerk against the side of the building as you get up onto the roof.
I tell to my fellow, you can shoot him. I put the fellows down.
Right. Down below in the courtyard, the musketeers are assembling, and on one of the U arms of the palace, a squad of musketeers with muskets is beginning to marshal, but they probably don't want to shoot with you mixed up in amongst the assassins. But you know, they're taking a knee and they're aiming, and
I think we should make them go near the side of the roof. Be a good aim for those muskets.
Okay. Phillipe?
I will attack one of these horrible men. They're trying to kill me.
Okay.
I believe that is the best I can do. So I will slash one of these dastardly assassins. And that is, now the dice do not like me. That is 4 successes out of 14 dice.
Wow.
It's to make up for my brilliant defense.
Yeah. Almost like child's play. This is turned aside.
I was just toying with you.
And muttering in an unfamiliar language, the person who parried it speaks to their allies, who begin to scatter for the back wall away from the front of the palace, toward the back courtyards and gardens of the palace.
They're going in the back.
They are cowards. They're afraid to face us. They're probably afraid of you.
Okay. So they turn. They line up against the edge. They turn, and chances are they're going to leap off the roof. That's what their body language is telling you.
I'll let them do that.
Phillipe, oh, you also?
There's how many? There's like 4 of them, right? All attempting to leap off the roof at the same time.
There's more than that.
There's more. There's
more.
There was 4 more at some point.
Yeah.
And just for clarity, the 2 men that were attempting to skewer me, they've also joined these men in the attempt
Correct.
to leap off the roof.
They've all reformed. So think of it this way: there are 3 major threats up here, or 4 major threats up here, each one with 2 companions.
Well, I'm gonna do the only thing I can
rolled
do.
off the roof already. So
I'm just 1 man, so I can only attempt to tackle one of them for questioning.
tackle off the roof?
No. Stop them from jumping off the roof.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But not being stupid, I'm thinking maybe I should tackle one of the ones that I've identified as not a major threat.
The ones who haven't been attacking, they've just been boxing you in.
That's correct.
Okay.
I think that's probably a better idea. So
Okay.
that's my intent.
Go for it.
Okay. I guess we're going to be calling this grapple.
That would we definitely be calling it grapple, a touch attack.
A touch attack. Okay, I'm gonna spend. Gosh, this could be really important. I'm gonna spend.
Ideally,
3
you're
style.
looking to double their strength. Okay, so
Yeah,
make it count.
I'm gonna double their strength. Yeah, I'm gonna put 3 style into this. I'm gonna really put my all into grabbing one of these people because I think this might be really important. I'm gonna roll 9 dice here.
Okay.
As they often do. And that is 5 successes.
Okay. So Phillipe, you charge across the roof and you grip one of these guys before he can jump out into space.
And a bear hug, yes.
And
Smash him down.
Brisecoeur, what are you doing? Nothing?
Try not to throw up.
Well, I'm waiting for the guy that is on the rope just to see if he will be shot or something. I'm looking down.
Try not to fall off the roof.
As soon as you've separated, right, their group from the 2 of you, muskets do open fire. Bang, 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 just a wave of pretty accurate gunfire. Right? So shooting the man off the rope, blowing a few of them off the back of the Louvre, right? But most of them make a controlled jump out into space. And Phillipe, from your point of view, what you see is them leap into the air, fall 4 or 5 feet, and vanish.
So I almost fall off the roof.
Of the morning.
I almost fall off the roof as I watch this, but I managed to hold on to this man instead.
Now, because it's at the back, you are the only person who has seen this.
You should sleep more in the night, Phillipe. Don't tell us crazy things like that.
Please don't talk right now.
So your man is struggling, right? And he's trying to get at his daggers. You have him incapacitated, right? You're significantly stronger, and you have him in a good grip. He's trying to get at his daggers to use on himself.
I am coming at him, and I want to disarm him.
All right.
While Phillipe is holding.
Make it so. It can be done.
It's a brawl attack, I think. I don't remember.
He's, because of his incapacitated state and your skill as fighting men, we can move past a dice-related struggle for that and disarm him.
Okay, I take both of his daggers and just throw them away on the roof. And I say to him, "Where are all the others?"
They vanished.
They run that fast without breaking legs.
And you can see that there are ropes hanging down the back of the Louvre, but there's nobody on them.
Brisecoeur, get one of those ropes. Can you help me tie him up?
Yeah.
I can hold him all day long.
I take the rope.
And don't fall off the roof.
No. I'm on adrenaline, and I'm tying up the legs.
That's my leg.
No. Okay, yeah.
So, as you're tying this guy up, more musketeers make their way out onto the roof, using the much easier points of access through the towers to get up onto the roof. They've got rifles and they've got swords drawn, and they're doing a security sweep. Martin is among them, and he comes to check and make sure that you're unwounded.
No, we're not.
And eventually, the palace grounds are announced to be clear of invaders. Somehow, the invaders got away, and a room-by-room search is being carried forward. How did they get off the roof? It's believed they must be in the palace, but room-by-room searching is demonstrating that they are not. Windows are not broken. No one has seen them inside. No one saw them hit the ground.
Well, I'm going to try to get Martin and perhaps Monsieur de Treville, if he's still around, aside. Once I've handed off my man for questioning.
Mm-hmm. And this turns into hours and hours and hours of questioning and investigation, telling the story again and again. And because of the time for you gentlemen, we'll fast forward, if you don't mind, through hours and hours of interrogation.
Right.
All right. So what story would you like to be recorded under your name of this assassination attempt?
Well, the story I'm going to give most people is that they managed to rappel down the ropes and run, and I saw them for a second go down the ropes, and then I was holding my man so hard that that's what I was concentrating on, because I wanted to get one of them for questioning. What I tell Monsieur de Treville, if I can get him alone, and Martin, is that
you can, yeah.
Is they vanished right in thin air. So I tell them what I saw. I tell those two what I saw, but I am not going to tell the majority of people what I saw.
Alphonse?
Well, I haven't saw how they went away, so I'll take what will be on the record as the official story, though I do believe the vanishing part.
Now, in between moments of interrogation, you're in with other witnesses, men of the Musketeers, right? Your own gentlemen of the same corps, right? And rumors are circulating as they will. And the bodies that were recovered, the one that D'Artagnan fought, the one that Phillipe caught, and the one that Brisecoeur managed to introduce by gravity into the courtyard below, these gentlemen have some interesting marks. They have the same tattoo, which is simply an X on the back of their necks, and they all have red hair. The one that D'Artagnan fought has one additional item, and this is a gold ring with a ruby stone, and etched into the ruby is the sigil of a dragon rampant. Right? You are not released to go about your own business until it is once again late at night.
Mm-hmm. I'm
You're swaying.
having moments of absence.
How are you feeling there, Alphonse?
No, I'm there.
Outside of Monsieur de Treville's hotel, right, his manse, you're let out into the night. You're thanked for your service. You're told that a bonus will be added to your pay for for the danger and your bravery. Okay, the two of you come out together, and across the street there is a luxurious carriage.
How tired are you, Alphonse?
Enough to sleep beside the woman of my life.
And the carriage door opens, and she is inside, with her hand extended.
How it is, good lady.
She says nothing. She looks at Phillipe from where he's standing, gives him a little wink, and she's pulling Brisecoeur into the carriage.
Oh, I have some vigor brought back to me.
He's not the only one with vigorous defense.
Oh!
And so she leans out, closing the door. Like I said, offering a wink to Phillipe as the very exhausted Brisecoeur enters the carriage.
Yeah.
With his vigor returning. And as she's making eye contact with Phillipe and winking, she's licking her lips. And her tongue very carefully moves across the extended fangs in her mouth.
Okay, at least it's not me, lady. I'm okay. I will be alive.
I watched the cart go. Oh no, not again. I don't have to save him again.
Phillipe sees Alphonse Brisecoeur being helped up into the luxurious carriage with its very expensive steeds. And as its owner, the wealthy but very sad woman, this night with a smile on her face as she leans out to close the door of the carriage. She makes eye contact with you, and you see the glint of her smile and realize as she runs her tongue across her teeth that she has to move it out of the way of her long and glistening fangs.
Sacre bleu.
The carriage door closes, and it begins to roll up the street. But she slides the curtain across, maintaining eye contact with you. And as she passes into the moonlight, you see her hair lengthening and reddening.
Oh no. This is ridiculous. Jean-Marie, you picked a really terrible year to go back to planting radishes. And I'm beginning to start to bolt after the carriage, looking anywhere for anybody with a horse.
Okay. The carriage is only moving slowly, starting to pick up pace. Can you catch it in time?
I will try. I'm going to run as fast as I possibly can and try to leap onto the carriage. Let's see. Do carriages have? Oh man, I forget. Can I jump on the side? Yeah, back. Yeah, back.
At the back, there's a place for baggage to be placed, and there's of course a railing around the top for baggage up there to be put in place. Although this is a very fine coach, you doubt it ever gets used for that purpose. But on the side, there's just one metal step.
Okay.
Not a rail.
Right. Well, I think the back is probably the best, most likely place for me to be able to grab onto this carriage, so as not to be dragged down the street by 1 foot, caught in the metal step.
Crushed under the wheels.
Yeah. So Phillipe isn't the brightest man in the entire world, but he's gonna. Yeah, I think I'll do that. That'll be fine.
Okay.
So I'm going to attempt to run and jump on this. So will I be able to roll something like acrobatics and athletics, or?
Well, this would definitely fall into the realm of pure athletics. You can be as acrobatic as you like if you want to get descriptive for it. What I'm curious about is if this is something you want to do on the auto or if you're going to roll it.
Oh,
you're going to take the average.
Well. Yeah, it doesn't. It's only going slowly. Can't do that.
How bad can it be?
How hard can it possibly be? But no, I think I'll roll it.
Okay, so the more successes, the faster and higher. Right. So if you can give me 3 successes, you can be on the roof of the carriage. Less, and you're clinging to the back.
Alrighty. I'm going to run as fast as I can and attempt to leap, grab onto this railing, and hoist myself up onto the roof of the carriage as fast as I possibly can.
Right on.
Deftly and nimbly. And that is 4.
Okay. Now inside the carriage, there is of course light, and the seats are incredibly well padded. It's lush. There's velvet everywhere. There's a smell of incense. And her hand, as she helped you into the carriage, it's a very firm grip, and as she guides you to a comfortable seat, her dear, her beloved, her Alphonse. Right. But she's leaning out the window as the carriage begins to roll away. And really, there's no memory of her signaling to the coachman to leave. And yet the carriage is rolling away as soon as the door clicks shut. Well trained, perhaps. But then her fingers stroking your chest become insistent, and they're pushing you in place, almost holding you in place. Such a strong, healthy woman she is. But suddenly at the back of the carriage comes not a bark, but an impact.
Yes, there's a dog in the street.
The bare streets are filled with dogs, and as Phillipe rips across the street, they start barking as he throws himself in the back of the carriage.
Just a common sight in Paris.
And the impact of boots and hands getting firm grip on the back of the carriage, and then 2 solid boot prints on the roof of the carriage kind of brings you back to your senses. The air of romance and mystery gone.
Well, we're in for a surprise, huh? I felt that I was to be surprised by you, my lady.
You are looking into the face of a woman that you haven't seen this clearly since the Louvre, when she was racing to escape and then killed herself in front of you.
That is a surprise. It makes things more exciting. So, where do we start to talk?
Where? You and I? How about how hungry I am for you?
That is interesting. What is your age? Just... How old are you, my lady?
You wound me. A gentleman never asks a woman her age, and she gives you a good, solid slap.
Well, I will defend.
I think that's wise.
So by defense, I roll my 5 dices.
That's correct, and I can tell you that it's a pretty powerful slap.
Well, I managed to make 5 success, all even numbers on my dice.
Well, that is...
Has been slapped before. Here's to this.
That's awesome. Okay. You take only 1 N in damage.
Oh, I'm at the 3 right
That would
now.
be 3 now, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, I am at 1 point to vanish. Oh, well, if you want to spend the rest of the night with me, you shouldn't continue. I'm a little tired, milady.
Slap. All right, so on the roof.
Maria, isn't it?
Yeah, you hear voices within. You hear Brisecoeur maintaining his dialogue.
Of course.
And on the roof, you can see the coachman, or at least, you know, the black hat and the high collared coat pulled up and holding the reins with a quick motion. The reins are being looped around the handrail of the driver's seat, as if in preparation for your arrival.
Hmm. Well, I'm just looking about to see if there's any sort of hatch beneath my feet that I can get down into the actual carriage itself. Not knowing much about carriages.
The windows are open, just they're screened with heavy drapes.
Right.
And there's a very thin metal railing around the top edge of the curved coach top.
Hmm. So faced with this dilemma, do I try to swing into the open window through the heavy drapes and perhaps fall to my death and be crushed by the carriage? Or do I jump and try to engage the coachman and perhaps cut the horses loose so we don't go on a mad dash through Paris?
There's a good chance that the coachman is coming back for you.
Oh, he's coming back for me. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, tease.
Well,
what do you want to do?
the coachman then.
All right.
Brisecoeur can take care of himself.
Initiative, please.
It will be easy for me.
It'll be easy.
Overconfidence is a quality.
Overconfident.
And apparently my indecision has given me a 1 in initiative. As I
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
can't figure out what to do.
You have the opportunity to go later in the scene.
Yes.
So, the coachman whips about.
There's a dog following.
Just chases the carriage.
They love this carriage.
And it is revealed that the coachman is actually not a man, but a lovely young lady with curled locks. As she turns around, the coachman's hat flies off. She's got a blood-stained face, and she says to you through these huge, distorted fangs, "Would you like some berries?"
No, thank you, ma'am. I've eaten already.
And she hurls herself at you.
Excellent. Well, this is the first time a woman's ever hurled herself at Phillipe, but I will defend, nevertheless.
It's raining women in Paris.
Exactly. And dogs.
Now, this is a touch attack. So, active defense.
Active defense. All right. My question is, then with parry, is that fencing, I believe, isn't that replacing active defense? Is that how it works?
It would be if your blade were drawn.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm just active defending then. There you go. Excellent. So am I rolling double dexterity there? Is that
No,
how that
it's simple.
works?
Just dexterity.
That's just my dex. Okay. Thank you so much for chiming in there. I'm just all
We just
right.
wanna
And I'm
take
off
half
your
your
dice. Right. Excellent. Yeah, this is 0.
Wow.
Excellent. Well, Okay, then.
Oh.
So 0 on the defense, which means she gets to apply her full successes versus Philippe's strength.
Excellent.
Okay. Now, she has 5 successes.
Fantastic. I have 3 strength.
3 strength. So she hasn't doubled it.
She has not.
So the two of you slam down on the roof of the carriage. Her on top of you, the smell of rotted blood enveloping your face. And she's whispering something like, "Give us a kiss."
Oh, this is quite... I've never been in this position.
So you are pinned. Well,
I am pinned.
she has control. You can still act. She hasn't immobilized you, but she has pinned you.
Okay, so my intent is
Inside the carriage, you hear the thudding crash as a full body, shakes the roof of the coach.
I'm looking up and said, and says, "Well, it's raining heavy suddenly."
Yes, which is good because I'm so very hungry. I'm not that very happy to share.
You waited, I'm guessing you are a couple of 100 years old, so you've waited all this lifetime to meet me. I'm honored.
The sound of the horses' hooves is increasing in speed. And she goes, "I haven't waited that long. Just since a certain church where you introduced yourself to me." And she's bringing her hand up for another slap.
Oh, yeah, well,
With the cross.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you had good poetry.
Slap.
No, you do a poem instead. Do a poem. Well, unless she's very bad. I have not rolled that high. 3
I see.
success.
Would you like to mitigate some of the trouble with style?
I don't have fast style.
Oh, you spent it all.
But yeah, just to stay awake for the queen. That was more important.
Well, what did you roll?
A 3.
All right, that is 3 non-lethal.
Okay, so I'm -2.
-2, and we'll need a consciousness check.
Well, it's a body roll.
Willpower.
Willpower. Double willpower. Oh. Which is what difficulty?
The difficulty right now is 2.
Well, difficulty will be... No, it's not 2. It will be... Look at this. It will be difficulty 6. I'm putting 8 chancy dice on this. Oh man!
I'm guessing his willpower is very low.
I just managed to make 5 success. What a mess!
So, consciousness is lost, right?
Yeah.
You can still hear vaguely what's going on, but you are, because of the pain, the ringing in your head, you're not able to act. Up on the roof.
Up on the roof. I'm attempting to throw this woman off me. I'm going to try to hook my foot underneath the metal rail that's going around to give me some leverage and just try to twist, at least from under.
I hope you're able to do that.
I hope I'm able to do that too. Because otherwise it's this light and airy swashbuckling adventure.
Okay, so like as I mentioned, the horses are beginning to pick up pace, which is going to add difficulty to the next maneuver. She is attempting, now that she has you pinned and she thinks immobilized, she's moving in for a bite, moving in to nuzzle your neck, and you feel her cold tongue licking across the bottom of your jaw as she goes for it. And so you're still able to wriggle and defend. And this is a full-on defense for you. However, because you are in this compromising position, your defense is at -4.
At -4. Okay, well, that means I'm just rolling one die.
Get that success.
Now, before you roll, I should remember that you were being very impulsive as you raced after the carriage.
I was.
So I should give you 2 style for that.
Well, good. Seeking the thrills and all that likelihood. Well, I believe, if I recall correctly, I had a couple left. I'm gonna roll at least 4 dice here.
Okay.
And pray to the dice gods as I attempt to defend from this ridiculous attack, which Brisecoeur, I'm sure, would not try to defend against at all. But welcome. And that is 2.
Okay.
The average.
So with those 2 successes, you feel the skin along your neck tear and take 1 lethal.
No.
Okay, excellent. Phenomenal. All right.
Okay.
But I really want to push this woman off me.
Go for it.
All right.
Now you will have to overcome her strength, I'm afraid.
All right. So it's a opposed strength roll, is it not?
Yeah.
All righty.
So you need to do better than 5.
Change the dice. No.
You need to do better than 5. Oh, well, okay. With 6 dice, not very good chances, but that's
You
what
could
I've
have
got.
7 with a chance die. Just use
I
1
could have
chance die.
7. I could have 7 with a chance die. Yeah, I've done the math. I'm not going to do that. And that is only 2.
All right.
She is incredibly strong, apparently.
She is. And the 2 of you are struggling on the roof of the carriage. Brisecoeur is semi-conscious inside the carriage, slipping into deeper unconsciousness when the carriage crashes. It has no coachman driving it.
Oh.
And it is teetering over on its side. The horses are still running, right?
Oh.
The wheels impacted with something along the street, and the whole thing has fallen over on its side. Inside the carriage, you're jostled around. You're safe because everything is padded.
Yeah. Caution.
On the roof, however, you are thrown free. Your assailant going one way, you going another.
Now this, I understand how to deal with.
This is acrobatics, yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I will I use with tumbling, no less.
All right.
So I will roll all 6 of these dice. And that is 4 successes.
Excellent. Well, 4 successes means that you will come out of this taking no additional damage and able to do something cool.
Fantastic. So I am just absolutely thrilled. Perhaps no man on top of a crashing carriage has ever smiled so widely as Phillipe Moreau smiles as this impossible woman is thrown off of him in one direction. He tumbles into the street the other.
Right.
Standing up with flair and panache.
Cool.
And his hat hasn't even come off his head.
Okay.
Now taking the time to hopefully draw my rapier before this amorous woman comes back.
Okay. She has been thrown further down the street. You roll up. Carriage is behind you. She's in front of you. The horses are tearing off down the street with all the apparatus that normally attaches them to the carriage in tow. And somewhere inside the carriage, its doors are still closed, will be Alphonse and his companion.
Fantastic. Well then. Monsieur Alphonse will be fine at the moment. I seem to have bigger problems.
No. I was due for sleep anyway.
That's good. I'm preparing to defend myself or attack this woman at this point.
All right.
With rapier and mangoche, because clearly I do not want to get in hand-to-hand with this woman again.
The woman gets to her feet, right? And there are people coming out of the houses and the hovels around because of the crash. You know, what's going on? What's going on? One man with a lantern, and although she's glaring at you, she lunges at the nearest peasant coming out of his dilapidated home, grabs onto him, and you can see her teeth glittering in the moonlight, and she's going to feast upon him.
Well, I cannot let this happen. I take this opportunity while her attention is divided to skewer her and protect the citizens of Paris, as is my duty. Most of them, anyway.
Most of the time? That's excellent.
Oh, yeah, most of them.
Okay. So yes, her attention is now completely subsumed in grappling this guy, and she's handling him just like a child. You know, he drops the lantern onto the cobbles, and she pulls him, and she's bending her neck, and to feast from him when you are able to strike from surprise. Oh my goodness.
Alrighty.
Surprise.
I will strike from surprise then with a ridiculous pool of dice.
That's right, and she'll only be able to defend with body. So.
Good. You've got to be kidding me.
Nope.
And with 14 dice, that is two successes. Apparently, Phillipe is much more tired after this grueling day than he realized.
You mentioned earlier about praying to the dice gods. Maybe you prayed wrong.
Two success.
And Phillipe, the horror of the evening is not yet finished, for your blade passes through her, coming out the other side unbloodied, passing in front of the man that she has gripped in her talons. So you can see it glittering in the moonlight against the darkness of his clothes. No blood, no stain, almost like there's no resistance of flesh as your blade passes harmlessly into her.
Oh, not this again. This is ridiculous. And I am transfixed with horror.
Blood spurts forth from the neck of her victim. Right? He can't even speak. It's just a death rattle coming from his voice, or from his mouth. And she begins to worry him like a terrier does a rat, ignoring you completely.
And the look at my face is something like this. Just like the one on my face. As I stand there transfixed, wondering, what do I do now?
The top of the carriage, the door is thrown open. And the original Spanish spy, the lovely lady, climbs out, dragging an unconscious Alphonse behind her as though he were a rag doll. With one hand, she lowers him down to the ground and allows him to collapse in a groaning heap.
Literally.
And she stands there on top of the carriage for a moment. And says, "So you want to play, Phillipe?"
Well, yes. Yes, I do.
Your
What are
sword
you?
did not work so well the last time.
It did not. I must have missed.
She pulls the upper part of her bodice open wider and says, "Would you like to try again?"
Just without a sound. I try.
You're going to rush?
I'm gonna rush.
Okay, well, good luck.
I love these people. And I thrust at her with 6.
Your blade, you thrust, you say, your blade impacts with the carriage, and she, in a blink, is beside you, gives you a kiss on the side of the cheek. In time to whisper, "My turn." And she just pushes. So you're not immobilized or grappled or anything, so you have your full defense, but she is, in essence, throwing you.
Excellent.
Acrobatics.
Yes. You need to defend against 6.
Well, with 5 dice, we'll see how well I defend. And it's 2.
Remember, you still have your blade drawn and everything.
Oh, in that case, I will defend much better than that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I will roll another. I hate these people. That is 5.
Okay. So even though your blade presents a significant barrier, she plants a hand, throwing you not nearly so far as she could have. And with your acrobatics, you're in no danger of taking any damage whatsoever from the fall. But how do you choose to use the momentum of the throw? She throws you about 5-6 feet.
How do I choose to use the momentum of it? I'm just gonna tumble as I land and look around for where the lantern that this poor peasant dropped is.
Yeah, it's over there by him as he's bleeding out the last few seconds of his life.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, maybe fire will work. Who knows what else?
Okay. Brisecoeur, could I have another willpower check, please?
It's time. Just a game question. It's how many times do you do that?
To retain to stay awake is a roll every turn.
Okay.
And it's just non-lethal damage, right? So you've been stunned. So you've been stunned for a number of turns over your body, and it's been enough for another roll.
Okay. The difficulty is
still 2.
2. I have 4 dices because it's double my willpower.
I'll try. Take the auto if you'd like. You can take the average.
We can average that. Well, I'll do.
I think you'd like to wake up rather than not, right?
No. Okay, I do wake up.
In time to see Phillipe rolling to his feet.
Okay. Right. What a lady.
And speaking of ladies, the berry seller, you can see her you see her face bent low over just like she's kissing someone on the neck. Her face lit from below by a lantern. The berry seller is engaged in snarling, growling activity, and blood is raining down over this lantern. And between you and Phillipe is the Spanish spy.
Yeah. I told you something about poetry. Can you remember what you said last time you did so to me?
She turns and says, I feel like the poetry of words is wasted on you, Brisecoeur. And so instead, I wish to show you art of a different type. Something that will have a more lasting impact. As she's speaking, she's walking up through the air.
Looks like what you did in Strasbourg. Well, I have my rapier. You know, I take my rapier as good as I can, and yeah, I'm waiting maybe to tread off some attack she could have against me.
Okay. So she's now 20, 30 feet in the air over the road, looking down at Phillipe, looking down at Brisecoeur.
I look at you, Phillipe. How about running?
Your taste in women sucks, Brisecoeur. Have I ever told you that before?
Now he's bleeding from the neck.
Phillipe? Yeah, he's bleeding from the neck. Yeah, well, you're the one bleeding.
Now behind
Well,
you,
that's a good idea.
yeah, behind you, there's a sound of wood moving, breaking inside the carriage. And the sound of fabric being dragged across it as something else begins to float up into the air out of the carriage. Phillipe, you can see it quite well. Brisecoeur, it's behind you, but you're aware of this through sound.
Yeah.
And Phillipe, this is a person you last saw at the Croissant Pont Neuf.
All right.
Who might
I don't.
that be?
Officially, I have no likey anymore.
And the lady, for it is a lady, is struggling in the grip of some invisible force as she's being lifted up. And you're just watching? All right, then.
Oh, well.
Oh,
This is somebody I'd be interested in rescuing. Is that the impression I'm getting here?
Well, yes, this is an undisguised Eugene.
Oh, well then, in that case, I'm gonna try to rescue this poor waif. Let's see, run and jump and try to grab her before she's taken to her doom.
Okay.
There's so many people I've seen at the Croissant Pont Neuf. half of them wanted to kill me, and half of them are mad because they, Brisecoeur owes the money. So,
Okay. You will need an athletics check for a high jump here.
okay,
So, and we're going to put it at difficulty 4.
alrighty. Well, with no style, I'm going to just do the best I can with 5 dice. That is only 2.
oh.
Okay. So, not able to jump high enough from a standing start. Her body, she's struggling in the air. Some pretty lady, Brisecoeur, that you have seen at
Right.
At the bakery.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think about. Well, yeah. I'm trying to evaluate if I'm climbing on the carriage. Can I reach?
You might be able to. If you miss, it's going to be awful.
Well, it might be awful because I am not -2 in non-lethal, so I have -2 in doing my stuff, isn't it?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, and grappling, grappling.
But if you're going
What?
to try it, that definitely sounds overconfident to me.
Oh, I'm going to try it, but what do I roll?
Oh, it'd be athletics.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll try it.
All right, and you'll receive 2 style for.
Well, that I will use for that.
overconfident.
Okay. Taking a big breath, trying to push myself off. I will try to save the lady. That will, and I have a 0.
Oh,
I'm just stumble over the carriage, fall inside, going back inside.
oh my goodness. So we'll need a defense roll, my friend, versus the ground.
-2, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunately.
0.
Okay.
I do hit my head somewhere.
and so, I think it's very likely that unconsciousness returns.
Okay. So, well, do I get 3 non-lethal?
Not 3 non-lethal. No, 2 non-lethal.
Well, I am at -4. So I guess the difficulty to stay awake is 4.
Correct.
Okay. Chancy dice. Put that all 10 of them.
Difficulty 9.
Difficulty 9. Good luck with that.
Difficulty 9. Yeah, difficulty 9 with 14 dice. I'm confident. Okay. Difficulty 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Splash, man. I get 9 successes. I'm a lucky bastard. My head hit a more smooth part of the wood. I roll down. I see some birds, and then I see the lady. I have to do something about that.
Okay.
With -4 dice to everything. Well,
so the 2 of you are in the street.
Yeah.
And she says, I am starving. My need for blood is unquenchable tonight, but I am not going to kill either of you because I want you to remember the day that you met Alice von Barsov. I want you to remember the day you ruined my plans. I want you to remember the day you put me in the bad graces of my master. I want you to remember the day you lost me all of my dreams. And so, as a reminder, as a bookmark on this day, I want to give and take lasting suffering with a kiss.
It's not as good as the last time you make poetry. Yeah.
She and the lovely waitress from the bakery are drifting together.
Well, what?
Alice's fangs are extending.
That's where musket training could be useful
if
we had a musket.
And so, she tears into the throat of the young woman.
I said, take someone on your age. Come here, you coward lady. Alice von Barsov. You're just a pawn of someone that doesn't deserve it. that will die by our hands. You know it.
All right,
I will
let's
write
see.
a letter to Jean-Marie. We'll have some news in a couple of months, and you will die.
Let's a couple of months. Let's see if you can break through her gluttonous rage as the demon within her feasts on blood finally this night. Let's see if you can distract her from satisfying her needs with your inciting remarks.
Is it intimidation?
It would be, that would be a good one. Intimidation, yeah.
-4?
-4.
Yeah, I'm a little lousy on the mount. That's where chance dice comes in to rescue.
You know, we've used chance dice more in this one small session than I've ever seen in years of play.
Well, that's because it's the desperate situations. So it depends on the difficulty.
The difficulty is immense, actually.
Well,
you're going to have to just to get any effect at all, beat 4 successes.
Just that, man. I do all my 10 chancy dice.
Well, and I'm gonna not being quite as eloquent, but with my before you roll with my intimidation of 4, I'm just gonna call her a worthless coward, and if she was at all good, she would come and pick on somebody that could defend themselves, and try to add a couple dice to his pool.
Okay, so add 2 more dice to your pool.
Okay. 4 success, because I want to score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 success. So it's a +5. It's an amazing success.
But you had to beat 4 successes plus 4 successes.
Yeah.
5 successes because you added 10 chance dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 9, right? That's difficulty 9.
So you got a 9?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? You won?
You got 9. He gets 0. He has an effect.
All right.
I'm looking at her with my eyebrow like that. Come here. It was supposed to be with me tonight. That's what you had in your eyes. Why wait?
Indeed. Why wait? And she throws the body of the lady at Brisecoeur.
I will try to catch her.
Okay. Athletics.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite stat. Oh, I have 0. Okay, so chancy dice.
You can. Yeah, go ahead.
So what is the difficulty? I have nothing else.
Are you going to try and assist on this one?
Oh, absolutely. Just right.
Or take the lead. But
yes.
Yeah, the difficulty of catching the thrown body will be 3.
Well, it will be 8.
I'm going to rush in to try to help with this one.
Okay.
I don't want to see them both die by hitting each other. Not
Okay,
after that rousing speech.
You can contribute 2 more dice to that affair.
Fantastic.
So the difficulty is 8.
Yep, 8.
No, I managed to make, let me see, a pitiful failure. Well, if I haven't made chancy dice, it would have been a dreadful failure. So, yeah, it's better than what I would have done.
All right, so her body slams into Brisecoeur. Some of its weight taken by Phillipe. Brisecoeur is unfortunately knocked completely cold.
Yeah.
And takes 2 more non-lethal, meaning you now have 1 lethal.
Yeah, because my death threshold is 5. That's
Yep.
what I understand.
That's
So I
correct.
have 1 lethal. So it made crunch.
Right. All right, and he's out. He's out for a while. So it's only Phillipe holding, you know, the dress of Eugene with Alice in the air above. And she's furious, right? She says, "So, Phillipe, do you too wish to die this night?"
I would prefer not to if it's all the same to you.
Are you willing to work for me?
Work for you how?
See, I'm not finished with you yet. She's sinking, furious. Today at the palace, what happened? She's wiping the blood off her face.
At the palace, there was an assassination attempt.
Yes. By whom?
By people that looked like you with red hair.
Yeah, one of them could have been her brother.
Yeah.
Then know this, Phillipe. The assassins are from the Dragon Rouge, the Red Dragon.
The Red Dragon.
They are sorcerers and assassins. They worship the Prince of Darkness. And once they served me, but now they serve someone else, someone that I would like you to try your steel against.
Someone
Your
that might
life is
still not
forfeit,
pass through.
So is Brisecoeur's.
Then I suppose I'm at your mercy.
So, you must look for a man. Olivier. Maybe you know this man from high society. Maybe you know this man for your searches for babies in the night. If you find him in his nest of martels and boves, if you find him, you find the leader. You find the one who called the assassins on the Cardinal.
The Cardinal?
I will not kid you, Phillipe. I'm sending you to your death. And I'm doing it because I want to watch you die in failure, in the ruin of everything that you hope to achieve.
So you wish me to cut the head off the serpent?
Off the
So you
dragon, Phillipe.
So you can graft your own on?
It was mine to begin with, but now I ride a more powerful beast. My master, far more powerful than what they are playing at.
And that is your deal? That's your bargain?
That or death tonight. I don't care which.
Well, everybody must die sometime, but I prefer to die in the future rather than now. So, I will accept your terms.
Her feet touch the cobblestones. Using her teeth, she cuts open her own palm, and black blood wells up. She says, "A pact then, Phillipe."
A pact? Shall I sign my name?
Cut your palm and shake. Blood mingled with blood. There is truth in this.
I look down at the crumpled forms of Brisecoeur And Eugene.
Yeah.
And I sigh and I cut my own palm and extend it.
She shakes it, and she turns to walk off into the night.
I wipe my palm off furiously.
Her voice floats back on the night air, and she says, "Expect to find information on their lairs and their habits in the morning. My servant."
As you wish.
And so, as if time, frozen, becomes unfrozen, the Parisians move in to see if people are all right. The night watch coming closer, finding out what has happened with this carriage, and finding two musketeers in the street. What do you tell them?
I do tell them nothing because I'm not conscious.
I'm going to tell them we were attacked by the same assassins that had attacked the Louvre earlier today.
Yes, musketeer. Should we sound the alert?
No, I believe they got away. I do not believe that.
I'll fetch the surgeon.
Good, thank you. I appreciate that.
What about Alban, the fruit, the berry seller? She's still there?
She fed and fled.
Yeah, okay.
The corpse remains. The lantern snuffed. Eugene is starting to stir.
How does she look?
Pale.
Fail.
But Phillipe, there is no sign of injury upon her neck.
I talked in time.
That is good. That is good. I'm going to pick her up to her feet. If she's conscious. If not, I'll just pick her up.
She's quite unconscious, yes.
Quite unconscious. I'll pick her up and I'll sit and wait for the surgeon to come for her and Brisecoeur.
Okay. Very sleepy man comes, and you're taken away to more comfortable quarters arranged on beds, roused back to consciousness.
I come back to consciousness?
Yes, under the treatment of the doctor that they have brought. A very old.
Hey, Phillipe, tell me how you tear this whore all apart in the street.
Alphonse, can you do me a favor?
I can do that. You're one of my best friends. Will be honored to do that.
Shut up. We'll talk later. Maybe take a break from women. Maybe take a break from women for a while. Why don't you do that? We have a lot to talk about, but not now. Not now.
Nevertheless, sure, it was a good fight.
Oh, a most excellent fight.
The doctor is puttering over Alphonse. Musketeer, you'll need a lot of rest to recover.
Well, a little bit. I'll be back on my feet soon.
And speaking of back on feet, Eugene comes in from, not Eugene, but Eugene comes in from the separate room where she was, and Alphonse, oh, she is lovely. Pale, with just a hint of rose in her cheeks. And she thanks Phillipe for the rescue.
You're quite welcome, my lady. You're quite welcome.
Is it Eugene? Right.
Could you escort me back to the bakery, Phillipe?
I would be delighted. And I offer her my arm.
And with that, we close the session.
Yes. Oh man, we're okay.
And thus ends a light and airy swashbuckling adventure, which was because we want to get rid of or to step away from the dark and heavy.
Hey, how you chose to deal with the vampiric threat, it's entirely on you.
Absolutely. I'm just laughing at the irony of the situation.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Oh yeah. Right, it is a strong start for book 3.
Yes. So bringing back an older character.
Yes.
From our second session.
Yeah.
And the nature of vampires in All for One being very different than how they are in Leagues of Gothic Horror. And maybe in our perception of them, they are a demonic possessing entity.
Right.
And don't play by the standard rules that we might think of for vampires. I find them really, really gritty and savage and unpredictable. But so I have a question for you, gentlemen.
What was that?
Do we believe or not believe that Eugene escaped unscathed?
Oh, I don't believe it.
But it's something to consider for the future. Whoever takes on the next installment, it's a thread there for you to consider. Did Brisecoeur's taunt prevent her from being turned, which is an option the vampire could take, or not? I leave it in your capable hands so that I too can be surprised in this campaign.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we allow you guys to go to bed?
Well, I was thinking to myself, man, you know, Phillipe would already kind of his character had already kind of taken a bit of a dark turn with the being beat up in his own home province. So this made it even just kind of leveled things out, a little light and airy with the pact with a vampire.
Yeah. Well, we will have to work hard to try to beat that odd.
I have this picture in my head of Martin coming up to Phillipe like some months hence, going, "Hey man, lighten up, cheer up, man, you look glum." You know, by the long face.
However, we could turn this on its head.
Right.
We could turn this on its head. It's an opportunity.
It is
to strike at a known enemy.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity to have enough time to figure out what to do about her.
I saw that too.
yeah. That's open a great gate here. Well, I'm if we keep the cycle, I'm the next one to try to do an adventure. Will it feature her or not? Well, it will be difficult to get around this because that's quite a mess we're in. It has to appear somewhere. Even if I don't make an adventure about that, it has to appear somewhere.
Right. I'm very curious how Brisecoeur, how Alphonse is feeling when he wakes up in this this old doctor's den, having missed most of the combat, just seeing like bits and pieces of it through unconsciousness and consciousness and.
Yeah. Well, my take on it is that Phillipe handled it quite well, which I will have another tale when my character will take news from that. I'm guessing that on the next session he will already know about it. I won't make a scene about this. And seeing Eugenie reminds him of, I remember this lady before she was my lackey. And then connecting the dots.
Right.
And feeling full about this. I should have known.
Right. And how about Mr. Moreau?
What about it?
Well, in one day, you had a tremendous physical success as a defender of the king and had your ass handed to you by a creature of the night. Or did you?
It seems kind of typical. Typical day in the life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did she defeat you? Or did she sidestep you?
She may have sidestepped me. I'm not sure. It's one of those very puzzling things. But that was a hell of a success earlier today. I think I just didn't get. I should have gotten some sleep first before this.
That's right.
Should have brought that other damn sword. It's too big.
Right. Okay. So if there are no final comments, we'll go offline and I'll begin the process of trying to stitch this all together.
Maybe I'll tell Brisecoeur he was magnificent. It was great. You were fantastic. You just don't remember it.
No, I don't.
Awesome. All right. Take care, guys.
Yeah. We'll see each other soon. Bye.
That was cool.
Thanks.